by the way, let's just transition to that. Joker 2, it has not only did it have a terrible box office weekend, it had one of the lowest drops in its second weekend ever of any comic book movie in the last
Oof.
20 years. I think it went down,
Wow.
was it 85%? I need to find out how much it went down again. But guys, Joker 2, a movie that me and Neil very vocally hated. I was so frustrated
Hey,
with.
hey, hey. I didn't hate that movie.
Oh, how did you feel about it?
I was disappointed with the severe. I was like Joker at the end of Joker too. Stop singing, just talk. Stop
Ironically,
singing.
that scene, I almost wanted to laugh because that's how I felt, after 17
Let's-
songs.
Yo, my cinema was laughing at it. All right, we were laughing.
My cinema was just fidgeting, ready to go. I'm glad you had a cooler cinema. This movie has
Yeah,
gotten
but
a worse cinema score than Madam Web. TBK, how do you respond to that as someone who hasn't seen this film but has only experienced the nuclear fallout of this film?
And you know how they release popcorn buckets for movies?
Oh
They
boy.
should release popcorn buckets for the reviews as well.
Why?
that's we.
It's just so entertaining.
Yeah, it's amazing to watch
So
from
TBK
the
has had to
outside.
listen. TBK has had to listen to me, you, Neil, and our friend Ari talk about how terrible this film is. And I think our friend Ari went to the opening night, so she paid extra for it.
Oh,
I know. I went
yeah.
Friday night.
Any of you watch it in
Thinking,
IMAX or something?
yeah, I think she watched it in a bigger
I
screen. Yeah.
watched it. I watched it in IMAX. Yeah,
Oh, Neil, I'm so
Right.
sorry.
there's big money for an IMAX. That's big money. I am never gonna get my money back. You know, it would have been fine if they just cut down on the amount of musicals. I feel like it would have been fine. I don't hate the fact that they did a musical.
Me neither.
Like
Me neither.
certain parts of it are good because you don't know if it's happening in real life, you don't know if it's happening in his head. Some parts of it I find that it's like you don't need a musical in this part. You can just talk, go on.
I know, like TBK, honestly, there were 17 songs. I feel like three songs would have gotten the same message across. The song where they burn down the building, the song where they're like dancing on the stairs, and maybe one more. I don't know. Three songs would have been enough, honestly. You didn't need 17. Oh my gosh. After five TBK, like I just wanted to rip my hair out. I was like bored. And that's the worst crime this film did. It was so boring, man.
You
But the
know
fact
what
that
I
it was
think
built,
it is?
it's built as a
I,
musical, and I'm not surprised that they tried to fit in as many music pieces as good. But I don't know, it seems like a DC movie isn't really of that kind of format.
Yeah, you're
mm,
right. And this is my most anticipated film. Neil, sorry, we kept cutting you off. Say what you wanted to say.
no, I say, you know what I feel this is? I feel like this is just a big real life meta joke. Oh, you guys expected him to be Joker. You expected too much. Now here's a slap to your face. He's not the Joker. He will never be the Joker. Here's your disappointment, and we'll steal your money.
Oh,
It's
speaking of
like
that money
he
thing, though,
disappointed them. He disappointed the people in the show. He disappointed the people in real life.
I know, I know. You know what's funny is when we were doing our quick review, or just for context, it dropped 81% in its second week, which is one of the worst
Woo.
ever recorded for a comic book movie. But I think the last worst one was Shaquille O'Neal's Steel from 1980s was the next worst drop. If you got to compare your numbers to 1980s, it's bad.
Mm-mm.
You got to go back that far. But in like I remember when Batman v Superman dropped 69% in its second weekend, and everybody was like, "That's a terrible." That film made 800 million plus worldwide. That's a success compared to nowadays.
Hmm.
Yep.
I know, but what I wanted to mention was I was rewatching like the our review with TBK and everything like that, and TBK's face lighting up. Neil, TBK's face lighting up when we mentioned that Harvey Dent was in this film was so
Yo.
adorable.
Oh man, we gave him hope, man. We gave him
I
hope.
Give him hope.
Yeah,
Just
man.
tell him that, like, oh, by the way, it means nothing. It's just a name. He doesn't feel like Harvey Dent. He looks 14 years old, and there's just no weight to it. It's just a name and nothing else.